All right, welcome everybody. This is LISTnet Tech Showcase. This is an event we used to do quite a bit and we enjoy very much, where we pick a couple of companies in LISTnet and we have them give a quick overview of what they do and then give people a chance to ask them some questions and hopefully see how they can interact with them or help them, whether, make connections for them or connect them to something they're doing. So this is the first one we've had in a while. We used to do these in person, and we'll get back to doing these in person. This was kind of planned just at the kind of end of Omicron, so wasn't quite sure what things were going to be like. But figured we'd get this going and see where we go from there. It's going to be interesting going forward to see how we kind of combine the online and the in-person, because there's been a lot of benefit to the online, one of which is being able to record and share the video after the event. So most of you know, but for those that don't, we're LISTnet, Long Island Software Technology Network. We're a chamber of commerce for the tech industry on Long Island. Been around for 25 years, and we work hard to create a strong technology ecosystem here. We run the digital ballpark in Plainview. Gus has an office here. Ed has an office here as well, where we have about 25 companies that have space here and collaborate together and do lots of fun things together. We do Thursday happy hours as well. That's one of the other fun things that we get going on here. And we also had our events here, and we'll have our events here again very soon. So we have two companies presenting today. First one is LDI, or Catherine, I guess the name now is LDI Connect.
Yes, we rebranded this year. So okay. LDI Connect.
So LDI Connect and then xogito. And Catherine of LDI Connect will be up first. Please put your mic on mute if you're not speaking, and then we'll give a chance for people to interact and ask some questions at the end. So Catherine, go ahead. Do you need to share screen?
Yes, I do.
Okay, let's see. You should be able to. Go ahead.
Okay, perfect. And let me see. Sure. Can everyone see my screen?
Yes, perfect.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Well, thank you, Paul, again for inviting me and inviting me to present. Hi, everyone. My name is Catherine Gruvenhoff with LDI Connect. I am an account manager here. I started at LDI July of 2020, so right after COVID hit. So it was an interesting time to start. And like my dad said, he's a part of LDI. So my family has been a part of LDI for 30 years now. LDI Connect has branch offices in Long Island, New York City, New Jersey, Connecticut, Southern California. We manage technology in every one of our core disciplines in every major city and in the United States with our direct team and channel partners. Here's a sample of some of our clients. Notice the names, but also the verticals. Our solutions are customized for each of our vertical markets we play in, including healthcare, legal, finance, education, manufacturing, government, not-for-profits, retail, hospitality, and technology. My joke is, if you have an office, you're a part of our vertical. LDI Connect represents the best manufacturers for each of our core disciplines we provide. Canon, HP, Xerox, Sharp, Toshiba, and Samsung are just a handful of the best in breed brands and technology partners we provide to our clients. LDI Connect seamlessly integrates print, document management, managed IT, cloud services, Pro AV, and security solutions into a one-stop shop for all of your office technology requirements. Today, our main focus will be in the areas of print, document management, and Pro AV. We're helping our clients rethink print. A hybrid work environment calls for flexibility from where employees print, added levels of security concern, the need to contain costs, and opens the opportunity for significant cost savings through optimization. Today, it's about serverless printing through the cloud and smart solutions that'll authenticate against Active Directory so employees can release their print jobs in a secure manner at workgroup devices and pass through the network credentials to scan to applications like Microsoft Teams, helping migrate documentation to the cloud where it is accessible from anywhere. This type of technology comes in all sorts of shapes and sizes, from traditional workgroup devices to production print. Our production print devices allow for in-house reproduction of marketing collaterals, proposals, and other applications. The value to the client is traditionally a 90% cost savings as compared to outsourcing, a just-in-time inventory of collaterals, and an array of finishing options to meet any need. Over the past decade, document management has evolved from traditional scan, store, and retrieve. Today, document management is about workflow and e-forms. Think HR departments and electronic submission of job applications. A sales department that gives its customers the ability to fill out electronic order forms online. Workflows for finance, incorporating electronic signatures for invoice approval and the ability to link documents together. Invoice, purchase orders, and emails all linked together as simple as performing a query. With Microsoft plugins, documentation can be stored in our document management solutions directly from traditional Microsoft Office applications and even email. Pre-pandemic, AV technology was mostly about digital signage. Today, it is an essential collaboration tool. A certain percentage of our clients' meetings will forever be on a screen. The adaptability of this technology to run applications such as Zoom, Teams, and other meeting platforms allows groups to connect with each other, share content, and collaboration. So that's a little bit about LDI. And again, our philosophy is to really be the one-stop shop for our clients. So a lot of our clients, they look at all their vendors and trying to work together as one. Our philosophy is being that one point of contact, and that way making all the office technology work together as one.
Catherine, thank you. The various document management platforms, do you focus on specific ones like SharePoint or other ones, or is it just, what are some of the ones that you focus on?
So we use, we use SharePoint. We use Papercut, Uniflow. Those are other document management tools that we use. So Papercut we use also when it comes to billbacks, especially like for the legal department. They see a lot of benefits when it comes to Papercut, but then Uniflow also for consolidation purposes and to optimize buying power to keep it in a secure print.
And who are you looking to, obviously you said anyone with an office, but who are you looking to partner with within LISTnet? Like IT service providers, accountants, like what are you looking for in terms of people that might be able to partner with you?
I would say IT providers, because since we have a good understanding also on who they're looking for, since that is part of our realm, it's a great partnership in order to work together and see how we can help each other generate that new business. Anyone in finance, legal, and also in the not-for-profit space as well.
Okay. And do you have a partnership program?
Yes, we do.
You do. Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Any questions from the audience?
I have a quick question. Are you able to take over leases from other copier companies in the middle? Do you do that kind of thing?
So we would take a look at exactly when the lease ends, and we do have great relationships with, like I said, Canon, HP, and Xerox that have great programs when it comes to, I know Canon, they call it the lease forgiveness program. So it's if to gain market share, they can satisfy remaining lease payments. It could be typically anywhere up from 12 months until the lease ends, but it's kind of case by case, depending on how many machines that there are. Sometimes they could do 16 months. It really depends with that, what kind of leeway.
Where's your office in Long Island?
Jericho.
Oh, and that's where you dispatch your engineers from?
Yes.
Your techs?
So we have Jericho is our headquarters, and then we also have our warehouse, which is in Syosset.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, I don't have any questions.
All right, well, we can come back with any other questions at the end, but I'll now introduce Gus Bathis from Xogito. They're a software development company. They have employees all around the world, and they have an office here in the Digital Ballpark. Very happy to have them here. Gus?
Hey, everyone. I'll just share my screen in 1 second. Is my screen sharing? Anybody see anything?
We see your home screen.
Ah, I see. Okay. Hopefully now you see Xogito overview.
Yep.
Perfect. So we're Xogito, and as Paul mentioned, we are a software development company. We call it product development. The company was founded in 2008 by myself and my brother. Since then, we've grown to a little bit over 180 engineers, product managers, designers, user interface experts. Our focus is on building long-term partner relationships with our clients, and we employ leading technologists, and we really apply industry best practices. So really our capabilities, we have 3 different capabilities the way we talk about it with our clients. It's we build, operate, and advise. We see these 3 things really operating together. In terms of building, what we actually do for our clients, so our clients are typically companies that are providing either a SaaS platform or some kind of software. So we build products that other clients sell to their clients. And so that's really been our focus. We do a lot of work with VC-backed startups, with early stage companies, mid-stage companies. We also do work with larger companies that are doing a spin out. They're spinning out some division and working on a product, that kind of thing. And we have an experience in a variety of technologies and stacks, everything from React, Node.js, all the way to C#, SQL Server, and that side of the fence as well. We're big proponents and experts in both Agile and Kanban development. In terms of the different areas we've done work, HR tech, done a lot of work there, a lot of SaaS platforms, a lot of web services, e-commerce, fintech, ad tech, and our capabilities span both mobile, iOS, and Android, as well as into web browser type work. We have deep competency in machine learning, deep learning, AI, voice, and vision. And in terms of languages, we're Python, Ruby, PHP, Java, JavaScript, Scala, Go, C#, and C++. And in terms of frameworks, those are a couple of the frameworks we work with. We work with lots of other frameworks as well. And then on operations, really, we have a 24/7 by 365 support and technical operations NOC. It is we deploy our software typically to public clouds, so either AWS, Azure, or Google. We've also done some more esoteric clouds, but these are the primary ones. We also do some physical hardware stuff as well. It seemed to go away for a while, and I see a lot more people interested in physical hardware now because the price points are getting quite attractive. And then we have a bunch of folks who can help out on business operations and data processing as well. In terms of advisory work, we do a lot of work with venture capitalists, angel investors, private equity shops, and senior management as they prepare to be acquired or as they prepare to acquire someone. Typically, we review product strategy, technology strategy, and look at the actual source code, the infrastructure, security practices, that kind of thing, and provide an analysis on the company that is under review, and sort of how good their technology is, how good their people are, how good their processes are, that kind of thing. We also do a lot of work in turnarounds and restructurings. So if a company has hit a difficult patch and they really need to fix their technology team or their product management team, we typically get hired to help in that process. As I mentioned, some of our sample clients, we do a lot of sales automation, ad tech platforms for the HR space, legal intelligence, streaming video, so on and so forth. We're not allowed to talk about our clients because it's, part of our clients don't necessarily want people to know we built it for them. So we don't disclose our clients, but I'm sure you folks have all heard about some of our clients, and you've all probably used some of their products. And so why Cogito? We're experienced in a wide variety of industries. We've got some great engineers, and we really shy away from using your typical Upwork freelancers. We have an entire management framework and a structure to maximize the results from the money you're investing. And we've been proven in countless engagements. And our focus really is on long-term relationships with our clients. We typically don't do project work unless there is potential for the project work to turn into much more of a long-term opportunity. Most of our clients have been with us now well over 3-4 years. We've got clients that have been with us from day one as well. That's just a little bit about me. I've been in technology my entire career, so thanks. Happy to answer any questions anyone might have.
Huh?
Mm-hmm.
He works
Thank-
5 days
thank
a
you.
week and 1. Wow.
Thank you, Gus. Question for you. So I guess one of the differentiators that you have versus typical software development is you offer the full service of hosting, helping with the hosting, help run the product on an ongoing basis, versus being hired guns to just create the code and then hand it off to someone, or have different teams managing different parts of it. You do a overall management of the whole thing.
Yes, we do overall management. And typically when our clients engage with us, most of our clients engage with us, they don't know anything about technology. They don't want to get involved with it. They want it taken care of. So yeah, we offer pretty much everything soup to nuts.
Right, and you would be looking, your typical client, I think, is a well-funded startup or someone that has, has the capital part figured out already.
At least they're, we don't, in the space we operate in, there's a lot of folks who say, well, build it and I'll give you a percentage of equity. We don't take equity. So you need
Right.
to have raise a reasonable amount of capital in order to hire us.
And who are you looking to connect with?
Other entrepreneurs. We've helped a lot of other IT companies as well. So happy to assist anyone. If you find yourselves in trouble and we can help out, let us know. As I said, we're all about it. Relationship revenue is great, but in a community like this, it's not always about revenue.
Great. Any questions from the audience?
So I believe Maricel is asking about, are we finding business internationally?
Sorry about that.
We do business internationally as well. I would say since the outbreak of COVID, we've dramatically curtailed our international business. We finished up some stuff that we had started before that, but mostly we've pulled back internationally until we sort of see how things go.
Maricel, do you want to introduce yourself and kind of tell people what you do? I think some people may know you, but.
Hi, can you hear me? Sorry about that. It took me a second.
Yeah.
I can put my camera on. I wasn't prepared for that. But thank you for the opportunity. Yes, and I asked that question, Gus, because I'm with the International Trade Administration. We're a government agency that's designed to help American companies export their goods and services. So we mostly operate through our U.S. embassies and consulates overseas. And we help many industries, from aerospace and defense all the way to safety and security, healthcare, education. And it's all about connections and those matchmaking opportunities and bringing those business opportunities to American companies here in the U.S. My office is located in Old Westbury, and we help all American companies that are headquartered on Long Island, meaning Nassau and Suffolk counties. We do many trade missions. We have matchmaking programs, some of them for free, some of them for pretty modest fees. It's very customized type of help. So if anyone here on this call ever feels that they need a government contact for anything internationally, they're dealing with like a trade barrier, or they want information and they're looking for a contact at some ICT ministry in Bangladesh, for example, we can definitely try to help with that.
And if anyone needs a connection, you can reach out to me for that.
Yeah, I will be definitely reaching out to you, Maricel. We do a lot of business in Eastern Europe and South America. So our engineering staff is located primarily in Eastern Europe and in South America, a little bit in Asia Pacific as well. And then our more senior resources are here in the US. So that's typically how we operate. So we do a lot of business internationally. We are members of the Chamber of Commerce's, the American Chamber of Commerce's in overseas in the various countries we operate. I've met with the ambassador of the US ambassador to Bulgaria and a bunch of I can't remember what they're called, but the folks that work with him.
Commercial specialists, probably.
Yeah. So yeah.
Great. That's good to know.
They were fantastically helpful.
That's wonderful. Thank you. This is good information for me to have. I'd be happy to coordinate with Paul to send you guys in upcoming events, resources, trade leads, and things like that. So thank you.
Yeah.
And I'll type in just my contact information in the chat box if
Yeah.
anyone feels that would be useful. Thank you so much.
Sure. No, glad to have you on the
Hey
call.
guys,
Go ahead.
hey, quick question. How doing international business, this is a little bit more of a technical question, but how are you managing the GDPR laws in comparison to the laws that are in the United States? Is that much more stringent when it comes to protecting PII?
Great.
Yeah, go ahead, Marisol.
No, please take the floor. I thought that it was for me, but no, go ahead.
So I can honestly say that's a persistent and ever-present nightmare, because not only does GDPR impact the products we build for our clients, but GDPR impacts our corporate operations to an extent that is so painful. Things like we're not allowed to keep resumes. You're not allowed to have if someone applies for a particular job, you're not allowed to keep that resume and then later on approach them if they're interested in another job. It's crazy. And the other thing is, you know, I have got a bunch of lawyers in Europe that help guide us. And I don't know if we have any attorneys on the call, but you know, the attorneys tell me I'm not allowed to take 2 steps in any direction, or I'm going to get sued. But then you look at it and you talk to other people who are experts in it, and they're like, yeah, that's potentially the case, but there's been no case law established, so nobody knows if that's true or not. The lawyers are just being ultra conservative. So GDPR is very painful.
Are laws going to become more stringent in the United States like they are in Europe with the GDPR, or is that going to be more like the way we have it today?
Well, I think you're probably going to see a bit more tightening of the privacy laws. In the U.S., I don't know how many of you have done business in California. We built a lot of tools that are used to manage remote employees for some of our clients, and our client has an entire separate legal team just for California and the privacy and labor laws related to California. So I would expect to see a tightening, hopefully not to the extent of GDPR though.
So do you find that the California law is the closest one in America to the GDPR?
In certain aspects, yes. In other aspects, no. California is always its own beast.
One thing that's happening that LISTnet is looking at is New York State is attempting to pass laws, and all states are attempting to pass separate laws. And one of the concerns is having 52 different different things to have to think about. Dealing with different states is a potentially technology nightmare. So I'm not sure that's the best approach, but that's what's happening now in New York. And then it becomes very difficult to try to do things on a national basis and have to worry about different standards in different states, you know.
But Paul, I would say that's a business opportunity for someone, if you think about it.
In fact, at least 2 of my clients are building platforms,
right,
that are looking to address needs where you have sort of federal laws, and then you have 52 separate law buckets that you got to deal with, and it makes for this highly complex thing, inefficiency in the market, and they see an opportunity to launch a system there that can make them some money. So
yeah, well, there's the business opportunity, but hopefully there's some sanity opportunity to make it a little better.
Totally agreed.
All right.
Great.
Thanks, Gus.
Thank you, everyone.
Awesome. Thank you.
So, yeah, we'll just open it up for people can just chat and just hang out for a bit. Thank you for attending. Like I said, this is something we used to do a few times a year, and definitely looking to bring back again. It's a good way for you to get to know some of the people here. So very glad to introduce LDI Connect and Gus, and also Maricel. I guess we'll probably try to have her speak, because they, I think that could be useful to a lot of the companies in LISTnet. A lot of people now do work internationally, and we are dealing with a kind of new way of doing business. And just as having to deal with the different states, having to deal with the different countries, opens up many, many issues there as well.
Definitely. Thank you, Paula. We'd appreciate that opportunity. We have many industry teams. We call them industry teams for energy, education, healthcare, you mentioned it. And one of those is ICT. And within ICT, we have this specific one focused on cybersecurity. And we do get many trade leads from our overseas offices requesting information on companies, US companies that might be interested in bidding on foreign projects. We have some really good industry guides. We organize webinars, as I mentioned, trade missions that are all related to ICT. And I'd be more than happy, of course, to send those your ways and distribute them as you deem appropriate among LISTnet friends.
Now, you deal primarily with companies looking to sell from overseas, not looking to buy from overseas, correct?
Exactly, yes.
Yeah.
We're all about, I know it sounds narrow-minded, but it's all about exporting.
Yeah.
And that includes also services, which is really where we have a trade surplus. Both goods and services, right? We deal with both. But usually when you talk to people about export resources, they usually think of just physical goods. But the U.S. Commercial Service deals with a wide gamut of sectors. And many of them are services, such as education, ICT, media and entertainment. There's tons in there as well. And the other thing is, I don't claim to be an expert at all on GDPR. I don't claim to be an expert in Morocco and their ICT sector. But the good thing about our office is that we are linked to my colleagues in these countries, or to colleagues in Washington, D.C. that are experts in these very specific sectors. So if anyone has a more specific question on GDPR, we have, what do you call it, digital attaches in Brussels. They can answer any of these questions, or they can even come to one of these sessions and discuss their insights, right, in a formal or an informal way. So feel free to reach out if you ever think that would be useful to your members.
Great, thank you.
Maricel, we're going to have to get you a background that has more international flags so that you could better represent your expertise with all these different countries.
But then people will think that we are the United Nations. No, but that's true. That's true. Yes. American companies are definitely selling internationally. And it can be a daunting thing, right? Navigating those laws. It's not just finding that business opportunity, but it is, once you do, how do you either send the product? Do you insure? How are the customs, the regulations, the labeling requirements, all of these things? And that's what we're here for. I think that every country, or almost all countries that I know of, they have some sort of export promotion arm. And their companies are using those resources for sure. So we are ours for American companies.
So one issue I'll ask, which pertains to software, I know myself being in the software industry and others, there's concern about intellectual property if you're sending software. Is that a valid concern versus if you're selling in the US and you have some sort of protection, but now you're going to sell overseas and they may or may not respect the US copyright laws?
It's a wonderful question. Many people think that because many companies, and not just the pops and mom and pop shops that are there, medium-sized companies, they think that because they have an intellectual property, what do you call it, a permission, whatever, here in the United States, that applies internationally, and that's not the case. There's not such a thing as an international intellectual property. Every single company has to go to every market that they're interested in either exploring or doing business in already and filing for that intellectual property. And along those lines, I want to mention that we have what we call IP attaches in selected regions in the world. So there are lawyers that know these things a little bit much better than I could ever. And they're also there as a resource. Sometimes, of course, they can get very technical questions and they may not know the answers, but they can point that American company in the right direction if they don't have that answer. And another thing that I'll mention is that there is this government website called stopfakes.gov, and it has very, very good information on intellectual property and how to protect it internationally. I'll type it in the chat box here. Stop fakes. It has reports on a country on a market basis and also on an industry basis. So the automotive, aerospace and defense. I haven't checked it in a while, but those are some at first glance resources in case you're ever curious. But yeah, great question. People think that, oh yeah, I filed for a patent here in the US and I'm going to go to Egypt and I'll be protected there. And then that's not the case. They get everything stolen. It happened, I think, to some of the bigger companies. I think in Pinterest ran into some issues in Europe because they had not protected, back in the day, they had not protected their website, and someone in Europe took it and they had to pay millions of dollars to get it.
Is there a country that's worse than, is there a country that's better or worse at this behavior?
Well, I guess the most notorious one is China, but I would say that USTR, the U.S. Trade Representative, they keep a report and they update it every year. It's called, some of you may know it, the Special 301 report. I can send the link as soon as I get a minute. And it gives you a list of notorious countries, and not only notorious, but issues that have come up. And it doesn't necessarily involve just the blacklisted ones, but also sometimes issues that come up in China and what areas those are, what industries, what was a specific thing. So it's a good report.
So China's known for stealing intellectual property, basically.
The question is if China is known for stealing intellectual property?
Yes, is that what you're pertaining to? That China is stealing intellectual property? And that's on this list, basically.
This list has, it lists countries around the world, and it gives you a report on how they're doing with regards to intellectual property and respecting those. If you're, we can check it out and see if China is listed. Probably it is, knowing a few of the challenges that we faced before. But by no means is the only one. And as I mentioned, I think that Canada has been listed on this report. It's called the Special 301. I'll have to look it up and put it in the chat box. But it's a very good report, actually. Very, very good.
Yeah. Marisol, if you send it to me, I'll send it out to everyone.
Sure, I know yes.
You might not be able to bring it up in a short amount of time, but I'm happy to share that with people.
Of course.
Well.
Here it is. It gets updated every year, and it's something to be very, I don't know, cognizant on or cognizant about.
Gus, do you do that? Do you look into that before you take on a client?
Internationally?
Yes.
Well, typically, no, we don't look at that. We sort of, we have it. That is more of like the client's problem, if you will, because they're actually selling that end product. We're just building that for them.
Gotcha. So they're never in fear of not paying their bill or stealing your data.
Exactly. Exactly.
Hey, Sabrina, welcome.
Hi guys, sorry. So I'm so sorry I'm late.
That's okay. We're recording, so you'll the presentation's already happened. Now people are just kind of chatting.
Yeah, I'll just listen in and go back.
So. All right, well, if anybody doesn't have anything else, I guess we can wrap it up. And thanks everyone for coming. Thank you, Maricel, for sharing some information. Thanks, Gus. Thanks, Catherine. Great learning about your businesses. Looking forward to in-person events starting soon. So hopefully we can get one of our famous happy hours going for the spring.
Paul, was going to ask you that. What is the happy hour?
What's that?
When is your happy hour?
So we have weekly happy hours here at Digital Ballpark on Thursday. If anybody wants to stop by, it's usually Thursdays, 5 p.m. or so. Just shoot me an email at paul@listnet.org and make sure that it's actually going on. But what we used to do is the Tech Together happy hour. That was between 150 and 200 people. We do that at the Refuge. And hopefully we can put one of those together very, very soon.
All right, thank you.
But yeah, you're welcome to come join us on a Thursday. We usually start around 4:30 or so, go till about 6:30, 7 sometimes. Mark Alessi. Mark, welcome.
Hey, how's it going?
Good, good.
I was on earlier and I got knocked off and I had to take something. Is it over or?
Yeah, we're just about wrapping up.
Okay.
But you know, people are just chatting. But thanks for joining. I did record it, so I'll share it to everyone there.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
I have a quick question for the
Yeah.
room. Is anyone using outsourcers that are from Eastern Europe right now?
So
I have more than I can count.
Okay, good. Well, let me just give you the scenario. So I have a client that uses a lot of, I don't know, 90% of their business is being outsourced development from Minsk. And they are afraid because their customers have already sort of given ultimatums to some of their other vendors that they can't use outsourcers from Russia, that if Belarus enters this, they'll be told to, likewise, they can't provide that service anymore. So I was just curious if anyone was experiencing anything like that, any pressures from clients not to use that, even though,
So I had one incident like that. This is Sanjay. My office is here in LISTnet. So we do some services in Ukraine and Poland, and there has been, some concern recently. So we moved some of the people to Turkey, and we had a team in Turkey as well. So we're using those. So anybody needs any kind of specialized support, we can probably talk. Yeah.
Okay.
We have some Russian employees, and we're relocating them to Georgia because Georgia is still not on the list.
Yep.
And then we'll see how that develops and how long that continues.
There's software problems too. There's some software products that are based in Russia. And, now in terms of getting support for them or anything like that, even being able to legally purchase that, it's a challenge, also.
Yeah, is it
so,
still okay to drink Russian vodka? Is that still okay?
Some of those vodkas have Russian names, but they're not made in Russia. So just be
Yes.
sure you're actually.
Some of them are Dutch.
Yeah.
I was in a bar up in Vermont and they dumped all the Stoli down the drain.
Yeah.
Stoli's not Russian, it's
Right.
Lithuanian now.
Oh, well,
You can believe that.
they wasted some good vodka then.
Very good vodka.
Yeah. They're rebranding.
I would think so.
Anyone else have anything to share? Mark, what do you have going on? You usually have a bunch of things.
I thought you wanted to end the call. You don't want to hear from me. I'll tell you one cool thing we're working on at Tesla.
Okay.
So we as you know, we honored Ted Rappaport, the inventor of 5G.
This is the Tesla Museum, so everybody knows.
Tesla Science Center, yeah. We honored Ted Rappaport at our annual gala in November, and through that we started doing a lot of work with the wireless industry nationally, and we got to know Marty Cooper, the inventor of the cell phone. He's 93 years old now, and some of his friends and family approached me and said, you know, the 50th anniversary of the first cell phone call is coming up in 2023. The first cell phone call was April 3rd, 1973. And they're like, can you help us get a statue? Because it was done in front of the Hilton in New York City. Can you help us get a statue on the sidewalk there? And so that's going to be a project that we take on, and we're going to try to pull in, you know, the tech community of New York. So you'll definitely be hearing from me on that as that starts to gel together.
Very cool.
I guess I do have a question for the group, specifically to Long Island. ICT, information communication technology. I'm not sure what name's being used now directly by the industry. That's how we call it on the government side. But it can be a very broad sector, right? It can cover cybersecurity, it can cover computer, hardware, software stuff. On Long Island, what would you say is the biggest subsector of that sector, if that makes sense? What do you think we here on Long Island are a hub for, like a cluster within ICT? What would be the strongest one?
Paul, do you think there is a cluster any longer now that
they've been trying to? I mean, there is some software. They've been trying to push a biotechnology cluster. I think we have a lot of different things. I don't know if I can say one solid things emerged. We do have, you know, a good technology base with you know, research institutions and colleges, you know, so I think we're very strong there. One thing that Long Island is definitely a cluster for is small businesses. If you look at small business ownership, Long Island is very high in terms of percentages and people that are small business owners. So I think we have that going for us, you know, and I think there's still some manufacturing on Long Island also. But yeah, I don't know that I could point to one thing.
And there certainly is a tremendous opportunity for cement work and road fit repair.
Good. Yeah.
Well,
No,
about healthcare and IT still.
Yeah, healthcare has always been strong. I mean, you have Northwell is investing heavily in it. We've always been very strong in that regard.
yeah, I definitely see that with the types of companies that we assist. In the pie chart for the industries represented is very varied. Someone like me that's not from the region, when I first came, I really thought it was just tourism, right? The Hamptons, what's known, but there's actually quite a lot of manufacturing, and I was blown by the amount of companies that do manufacturing on Long Island. But yeah, aerospace and healthcare are probably the biggest subsector. Food manufacturing is also super important. But yeah, thank you. And I think that you're right, Paul. In terms of IT, biotech is probably something that has gained so much strength. Thank you.
Sure.
Paul, if you don't mind,
Yeah,
I can add a little to that. Hi, everybody. My name is Vincent DeSico. I work for JP Morgan Chase in small business out on Long Island. So, you know, at least in Chase, we have approximately 100,000 households on Long Island that are small businesses. Each area has, like, you know, in my opinion, I've covered the East End, that Hampton area, and now I cover kind of the middle of the island, up and down 110. Each area has a uniqueness to it. Out on the island, the businesses are, you know, very retail, very seasonal, a lot of construction, landscaping. In Bohemia, there is some manufacturing, but like that Bohemia around Konkoma area, a lot of it is government contract work for buying and reselling parts that fit all different types of aerospace, helicopters, you know, Navy, Army, Marine contracts. We have a lot of, and I'm just talking with the clients I've seen. We have a lot of clients that fit that bill. Unfortunately, the healthcare industry, unless you're one of the big players, is kind of condensing, because what we're witnessing is a lot of people in private practice becoming employees of the Northwells, the ProHealths, and, you know, kind of selling their practices to those, you know, to the larger players. So, you know, if you want a little rundown of what I've seen in the last 7 or 8 years out here, that's, you know, that's how I see it from, you know, from visiting clients and managing a lot of different areas. Thanks.
Thank you, Vincent. Thank you so much.
Paul, can I pose a quick question? Sorry to prolong. One of the projects I've been working on for a client deals with 5G technology. You know, the rollout out of that, mostly in New York City now, but they're going to be looking at the suburbs very soon. Do you know, from the, you know, LISTnet perspective and the tech company perspective, if there's a focus on like the future of wireless and what that connectivity, what that means 5-10 years from now, if we don't have it, or if we fall behind on 5G?
Yeah, it's something we've been behind very much. You know, AT&T is one of our members, and they've pushed this message. There have been pockets of resistance on Long Island. And there's a very, you know, the problem with Long Island is the people in favor of things don't show up to town board meetings and other places. Right. And the people opposed to things show up disproportionately. Yep. But I do agree, it is something we need, and it's very critical to our future. And it would be a shame if we fell behind on that.
Got it. Thank you. Yeah, that's what I've been hearing or seeing.
Yeah, it's that there is a vocal opposition.
Yep.
All right. I'm happy to keep this going, but if anybody has anything, otherwise,
I have to go, but very nice meeting everyone. Thank you so much for this opportunity. It's great. Thank you for the insight.